Click, click, bang, bang, he says.
I did say that.
Don't confuse it with kiss, kiss, bang, bang.
Or Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Two excellent movies.
Sure.
Sure.
Sure. I don't know if I've actually ever seen all of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Like,
That-
I think I've seen parts of it. That Batman picture that you sent earlier, well, absolutely dope. I really thought for a split second he was holding a sword in his right hand.
I
Why does
mean,
he have a sword? Oh, it's his cape. Got it. Got it. Got it.
well,
Cool.
Batman's technology, it could be a sword, too.
I mean, it definitely could be a sword. You know, just taps people with it and it just puts them to sleep. Go to sleep now.
He's sleeping.
He's sleeping. Dr. Fishy, no. Oh my
Good
god.
fishy. Good times.
I was watching something last night and it just had me. Oh, God. I was talking to my brother about the newest episode of Dignation because I watched it like last week or the week before, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, just the reunion episode that they're doing, and then we both went down like a rabbit hole of just like searching for old Dignation episodes and just stupid stuff that we remember them talking about and saying. And one of my brothers was hamsters, and I'm like, I don't remember hamsters at all. So, but sure enough, you search for Dignation hamsters on YouTube, and it comes up with a 3-minute video where Alex, I think, is like, yeah, there's a YouTube group for just female fans of Dignation because they didn't think there were a whole lot of female fans, and so they go to the website, which is like groups.facebook.com/Dignation female fans or something like that. Really old ass Facebook URL. Anyway, a picture comes up, and one of them, and I think Kevin looks over and he goes, "Are those girls?" And Alex goes, "No, those are hamsters." And Kevin looks back again. He goes, "No, those are girls." And then Alex looks at it again. He goes, "No, I actually think those are guinea pigs." And then finally Kevin actually looks at the picture and he's like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. I think those are guinea pigs." And it's like, what the fuck?
Oh, Kevin.
Yeah. Anyway. That was a fun little trip down memory lane. God, that was 20, like, late. It was like late aughts, late 2000s when that started.
Yeah.
Missed that show.
I miss shows like that, too. Just in general.
I know, right? Just fun off the cuff stuff.
Plus, those two, well, Alex and Kevin are just weirdos in general.
Yeah, right?
And they've known each other for so long that, like, just the most random shit comes out of their mouths.
Mm-hmm. And they used to get trashed with each other, so like it just even more ends up being even more random.
Yep.
Which I love. I miss.
Oh, miss.
I miss. God. I'm so tired. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night, so this is gonna be fun.
Uh-oh. What were you doing, crazy person? Partying or what?
Mostly that the dog decided that she needed out at some time in the night, and so my brother let her out, and then she just proceeded to bark at everything.
Great.
Yeah, fun. Anyway, how was your week?
I mean, it was a week.
It was a week.
Yeah.
Definitely was.
Doesn't feel like it was a week.
Yeah, right. Because another week is about to start.
Not just that, but like it's fucking August already, dude.
Yeah, right. Like it turned August 1st, and it was like, oh shit, it's a whole nother month.
It's like August 1st of like August 1st. I was like, dang, what? Why?
Mm-hmm.
But why?
Why does time just keep on going and things just keep on happening?
It's like, slow down, y'all.
Yeah, slow down. Give me some time to sit down and play video games and enjoy myself.
Please.
right?
Please.
Yeah, and then for me, it was just another week of doing overtime at work. Nice paycheck, but God, just slowly starts to drag on you. Kind of like, I guess, the opposite of what you guys did this week. You didn't have any work to do, so they just told you to stay home another day.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yup, indeed.
It was a real good time.
Anyway, speaking of a real good time,
Yeah, buddy.
what did we see last week, Cody?
Say it. Deadpool and Wolverine.
We saw Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
I loved it.
Right?
And I was talking to a friend of mine. Well, I mean, a guy I know at work. I wouldn't say a friend of mine. Guy I know from work. I don't even know his last name, so we can't be that big of friends.
Nope.
But he's like, I don't know if I really want to watch it. And I was like, why? He's like, well, I haven't seen the first two. And I was like, what?
Right?
Like, what? Like, where have you been? But he hasn't watched comic book movies apparently, so I was like, oh well,
Okay, fine.
don't go see it. I mean, at that point, you're gonna be so lost and confused, and the jokes are not gonna land, that it's gonna be absurd for you. And the other thing too is, I was reading this thing online where a guy was bashing it on, I think it was on Twitter. It was like, there's a thread of why I didn't enjoy Deadpool and Wolverine, and I was like, curiosity has me thinking I want to look at this.
Right?
And he proceeded to basically make himself sound like an ass, which was kind of expected. But he was complaining that there was so many meta, air quotes, meta jokes that like he didn't understand. He's like, well, he's like, I don't know why everyone was so excited for Channing Tatum to be dressed as somebody named Gambit. And I was like, first off, somebody named Gambit.
Right?
Calm down. And I was like, if you don't know pop culture and comic book movie lore, then you're definitely not going to understand why Channing Tatum showed up in a very comic accurate costume of a gentleman named Gambit.
Right?
So yeah, you're gonna miss some of these jokes. But yeah,
That's the problem we've said for a long time with reviewers of pretty much anything. Where it's perfectly fine that you can not like something, but don't not like something because you just don't understand it. That just means it wasn't for you then.
yeah.
You know?
It's like I understand that your job as a reviewer is to review stuff, right? I get that, but you should probably review stuff that you're familiar with. So
Yeah, that
if
you like.
not just that you like, right, but like the stuff that I mean, yes, the stuff you like, but like if you aren't into horror movies, don't review horror movies.
Exactly.
If you're not into comic book movies, don't review comic book movies.
Yeah.
If you're into Ryan Reynolds but not into comic book movies, don't review Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's because,
or at least review it, giving it the idea that you're not into this stuff. So don't nitpick the stuff that you don't understand.
yeah, like don't say, oh, the jokes didn't land with me because of this. I'm like, well, yeah, if you don't know what the joke is about, you're not going to understand it. Like, you're not going to get it. You're not going to enjoy it. It's not going to be funny to you. You're not going to damn near piss yourself in the theater.
Yeah, that's dumb. I hate that.
Yeah, so like in everything he was talking about was like literally stuff like you have to know the history of Deadpool, not just in comic but in the movies, Ryan Reynolds as a human being himself, the lore of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and all the stuff that accompanies it, including all the cameos, which he only knew one, and the one he knew was infuriating to me.
Oh my god, let me see if I'm trying to guess. It probably had to have been like one of the ancillary characters that not even like Blade, Elektra, Gambit, or Johnny Storm. I'm gonna say Frog, Toad. Sorry.
So, bro, this is what. Maybe you'll be as mad as me, maybe not. The fucking Russian.
Oh, the Punisher. I forgot that he was in that. Yeah.
Which isn't even the actor who played the Russian.
No, it wasn't Kevin Nash. Yeah.
It's actually the actor, if I'm not mistaken, if I looked it up, if I saw it correctly, he's the actor who played the body double of Buff Guy and Free Guy.
Okay.
That's who that was. I might be mistaken, but he was like, yeah, that's the villain. First off, he said that's the villain from Punisher, and I was like, first
I
off,
mean, that was not the villain from
that's
Punisher.
a villain from Punisher, but not
Yeah.
the villain from Punisher. The villain from
Right.
Punisher are the people who killed his family, but also John Travolta.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I also was watching or looking at was I reading it or watching? I think I was watching it. It was like Watch Mojo or some shit. I think was what it was, and they're like top 10 Easter eggs that weren't cameos because they already did the best top 10 cameos from Deadpool and Wolverine,
Mm-hmm.
and yet they had a cameo in it, and I was like, but that's a cameo. But they're like,
That's
yeah,
why I don't watch Mojo.
yeah,
I don't,
they're
I
real
don't
dumb.
care for their stuff. The other reason why I don't watch their stuff is because they'll literally be like, top 10, something that's something to deal with audio or video, and they won't show you
Yeah,
or
because they
play the
can't because they don't have the
video
rights.
or audio, and I'm like, no. Like I get that you're probably worried about being copyright stricken here, but like you can't do that. That's don't. And so I stopped watching that channel altogether.
Yeah, I need to stop. I need to get
I
rid
think
of
I
it.
actively even started going through and just saying no, stop showing me this.
I
Block.
yeah, I definitely need to, but I haven't. But yeah. So, but one of the things they're like there's references to the multiple Punishers, and they're like, there's been 4 actors who've played Punisher on the big screen. There have been, but
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Dolph Lundgren,
Well,
Thomas
technically,
Jane.
I think if you're saying big screen, technically it's only 3.
I mean, or I'm sorry, they said live action. Sorry.
Live
They
action,
said live
24.
action. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, not big screen, live action.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah. But they're like, yeah, and Blade uses Ray Stevenson's Punisher rocket launcher that he shot the guy out of midair in, and then they showed a clip from Warzone, and I remember how fucking terrible that movie is.
It was bad, but I liked it because it was just action.
Yeah, it was definitely campy fun, but like also it's like it was a real piss poor movie just in general. But like there's the clip they show is the dude doing parkour off a building, and then Ray Stevenson dumbfires a rocket into him, and somehow hits him perfectly with it because apparently the Punisher's bullseye. But whatever.
Punisher is just a really good shot. Yeah.
And then I was like, I guess it could have been the same rocket launcher, but also like, does it matter? It's a fucking rocket launcher. Was it signed by Punisher? Like, did it have a Punisher logo I missed on it? Like,
I mean, the only connection is that they do. Blade does say this is one of Punisher's weapons or something like that, or
yeah,
someone says it.
Someone mentions the fact that there's been Punishers, but I was like, oh
Yeah.
god, that's just the dumbest. Like, oh, it's an Easter egg. I'm like, not really. No.
Mm.
An Easter egg is not a is like a hidden reference, not like, like when
That
you
one
see
was overtly just
Yeah. like
this was the Punisher's. Not really an Easter egg when you say it was somebody's.
yeah, like an Easter egg is the banner on the side of a bus that has Stan Lee on it. That's an Easter egg.
That was such a quick, like blink and you'll miss it moment.
And also like like Liefeld's just feet. That's an Easter egg.
That's an Easter egg. That was hilarious too.
Yeah, all of Gambit, the Easter egg, because
Yeah.
it doesn't exist, and if you don't know, you don't know. You know what I mean?
My God, his French that just would not his Cajun. I
Yeah,
should
his
say.
just nonsense.
Nonsense going on, and just the commentary by Deadpool of just did anybody understand what he said?
It was
Yeah.
great.
I feel like this is really important exposition, and yet I have no idea what's going on. Oh my God.
Yeah, and then I was like, yeah. So besides those ones, like there's just all these. Like I finally got to like actually actively watch some of these, and I just don't know why I did.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what happens. But anyhow, so Joe, what was your overall thoughts of Deadpool and Wolverine?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, I was a little apprehensive about how they would bring Wolverine into it because you do hear about, they show bits of like, okay, this could be the Wolverine from Logan. And it was a fantastic movie, and I'm not sitting here like worrying that they're going to like tarnish the movie or the story or whatnot, but I'm just wondering about how they're going to bring it back into it, having that be one of the last times that we saw Logan. So I think the way that they did it and they brought Wolverine into it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, come on, like, yeah, they poked fun at the fact that that Logan actually dies in the most heroic way possible. And he's the most heroic Wolverine in all of the universe. And to have Deadpool just being like, the one thing about Wolverines, and he's just sitting there digging, is you know that they can't die. He just fucking hits something hard and just stands up and is like, fuck.
It is
and he
great.
just pulls up the adamantine skeleton and it's just like, apparently they can die. And then just the whole fight sequence right there for the intro is just an absolutely fantastic way to start the movie and just set the tone for the rest of it.
And just have so many absurd things in it, like the whole he rams the like the one bone into the dude's dick and it makes it look like he's jerking him off and it comes blood.
Right?
I was like, dude, who first off, who thought of that, and give that person a raise. If it was Ryan, I don't give him a raise, but like, you know, at least
a pat on the back.
Yeah, pat on the backside, you know what I mean? Like, good game, bud.
Then yeah, just that whole sequence is funny. He eventually gets the claws on his own hands and just starts going at it with the guys. Eventually escapes. The like every scene just has something in it that I just love so much. Going to the one of the next scenes where he's I guess he starts telling the story from the beginning at that point.
Yeah, it does the whole flashback.
Yeah. So not so much that, but then he meets with the TVA, and you start to see like, you know, oh, welcome to the main universe or whatever. You could be in this, and it's like showing Captain America, Thor, and this and that, and then you see, why is Thor holding me crying in this one, and like just completely glazes over it. So I really hope that is something that in the future they do actually play off of, but we'll see. Maybe it's just a one-off that Ryan did, and it's just like, we'll see what happens. If it ever happens, it doesn't. Then if it does, it does. It's awesome.
Oh, I'm mistaken. The Deadpool and Wolverine guy who plays the buff guy is Juggernaut in Deadpool and Wolverine, not the Russian. My bad. I was looking up cameos while you were talking.
Wait, say it again?
So I said earlier that the guy who played Buff Guy and Free Guy, the body double, was the Russian in Deadpool and Wolverine. I was wrong. He played Juggernaut in Deadpool and Wolverine.
So was he the actual actor that played it in...
No.
Because he looked and sounded like that actor.
Yeah, he wasn't Vinnie Jones. Vinnie Jones refused to do the cameo.
That sucks.
Yeah, so they got this guy as to basically be a weird cameo and a cameo, like a cameo and a cameo, because he was the body double for the buff guy, and then he was obviously the actual Juggernaut in this movie. So because in Deadpool 2, Ryan actually voices Juggernaut.
Yeah, because that was basically a CGI character.
Yeah, yep. So
I say basically, I think it actually just was a full CGI character.
It was mocapped, but yeah, he wasn't a real human being because nobody's that physically fucking
that
size.
Big, but it was a more comic accurate Juggernaut, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, had you just like, I legit thought that was the guy who played Juggernaut from whichever X-Men X3 or whatever it was.
X3, X-Men United.
Yeah, it was X-Men United, okay.
Which is weird because it's actually about a movie about tearing X-Men apart. But, you know, who am I to complain about your terrible fucking movie, Brett Ratner?
You would unite them after you tear them apart.
And that's not even happen at the end. They barely are united. They're still fractured by the end of it, but, you know, again, who am I?
X-Men 3, Fractured Butthole.
Would have been a better title.
Would have been.
Yeah, so I mean the the story I thought was extremely well done because like you were saying, I was wondering how they were gonna do it because I saw a lot of people complaining about, oh, now they made Logan's death not mean anything, and I was like, well, obviously you haven't seen this movie because saying that just from the trailers is one thing, but now the movie's out and you're still saying it means you actually haven't watched the movie or you didn't understand the words and the pictures on the screen that were literally telling you that Logan is dead. And that was literally the premise of this movie, was the fact that Logan's death was permanent and that sacrifice he made was the reason he made it. And some people will say, "Oh yeah, but you know he was that timeline's like fucking what do they call him?
I'm trying to remember myself. Oh God,
Whatever it was, like that basically like this is the if this person doesn't like once this person dies, which I believe is a shot at Marvel Comics in general. When a certain character dies, the book doesn't continue on because everyone stops reading it, which I thought was really funny. But also like it's just that's what happens. But like I could look up what they call them, but I'm not going to. And like they're like you could see the argument of saying, hey, they brought this other Wolverine into the world, and now the world that timeline is fixing itself or like continuing or whatever, right? But it's like that's not you're not getting the point of that character arc. So yes, that Logan died in Deadpool's timeline, right? But Deadpool then went beyond space and time to find a replacement, and then the reason, to me at least, I could be wrong, the reason the timeline fixed itself is not just because they brought a Wolverine in, but they found a way to let this worst Logan redeem himself the best he could.
Yeah.
And then the timeline was saved because he is now that tentpole person again. You know what I mean?
Like had he not been redeemed, the timeline would have still collapsed, but because he was redeemed.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not because they brought Wolverine back and just placed him in there. It's because they literally
he became a hero.
Yeah, he became a hero that everyone knows he could be, but that version never lived up to it because he was selfish and a drunk and blah blah blah. So I was like that is the reason. And then I saw this other thing that was like really clever, and it's not like it surprised me because I knew, but it's the comments on it were like, I didn't even realize this. Every post-credit scene in a Deadpool movie literally tells you what's happening in the next movie.
Oh, does it?
So
I don't remember the other ones.
So at the end of Deadpool 1, he does the Ferris Bueller ending where he comes out in the bathrobe and he says, "Why are you still here? Go away." And then he gives you a spoiler or like a little hint of what's happening, and they're like, "We're gonna have Cable in it."
Oh, right. Okay.
And then Deadpool 2 has Cable, and then in Deadpool 2, he literally goes to he shows up as he's fixing different timelines with the time watch. He goes back and kills the old version of Wade Wilson, Deadpool from that one, and says, "Hey, your old buddy Deadpool is gonna come to you with a favor." Literally telling you like that's what's gonna happen in the third movie.
Yeah.
And it's wild because people are like, "Oh, it's so weird." They actually make no. They've been planning this forever. And if you don't believe me, he literally stapled a picture of Hugh Jackman's face to his face in Deadpool 1, and he had a Wolverine action figure.
Yeah.
Like, and then the second one, I think it was the second one, he had a Logan action figure of him like staked on the tree, on the log, and I was like, dude, this is ridiculous, dude. It's like,
he did.
Yeah, so like it was all this crazy stuff, and I was like, yeah, man, that's like they've been planning this, like, and even if Disney didn't buy Marvel, I mean, didn't buy Fox to get the X-Men rights, they could have probably done it. It just wouldn't have been obviously what we got. It would have been something slightly different, and I doubt it would be any good because anything in the Fox X-Men universe after 2 was just hot fucking garbage, except for Logan, because that was sort of kind of not in the same canon timeline in a way. But yeah, um, but yeah, it's like the thing that like is infuriating about all these like pseudo reviews and stuff that people have about it is no one talks about how well the character development is amongst this two between Deadpool and Wolverine among the entire time. You start off with like the opening credit scene where Deadpool is being Deadpool, you know, and he's hamming it up. He's dancing. He's doing the NSYNC dance and murdering motherfuckers with a skeleton, and then you jump to like the earnest conversation, of course, with Deadpool, stuff happening with him and Happy, and then you see how shitty his life is, and you're like, oh man, I kind of feel bad. And then you get like this like uplift of like, oh, I'm gonna save my fucking timeline, right?
Yeah.
And then you have all that fun stuff, and then you learn more about this Wolverine and how shitty he is and all that stuff, and you're like, damn, I feel bad. And then like you have Laura come and say you were never the right person until you were, because that's always been kind of like Wolverine's thing. Like he was always reluctant to be the hero, and then when he was like the fucking hero, or the Wolverine. But it's like there's such a good development of character for both those. Like to when you get to the end, and then Deadpool pulls the old switcheroo on Logan, and goes in to sacrifice himself, knowing that hey, this is my moment I need to do, because like I have nothing else, but I'll sacrifice myself to save everyone I love, and you know, and all that fun stuff. And then of course spoiler alert, Wolverine going in there and they touch tips and you know, and save the timeline together, and then survive because their healing power is that much better when the devastating power is separated between the two of them, you know, because stronger together, blah blah blah. So like there's like that, like no one, like I haven't seen anybody talk about it, like, and I haven't looked at everything because I actively don't go look at these things because most of the time they fucking make me mad, because it just, I know these people aren't fucking watching these movies, and they're just like shotgunning their reviews out, or if they are, they're just too stupid to fucking understand what's happening in them, or they're just like so fucking biased, like, oh yeah, but Batman wouldn't. That has nothing to do with this. But yeah, so like I didn't actively see anybody talking about it, but I also didn't see anybody in the little things I did read and watch that were talking about like how well done those two character development arcs were in this movie, and the fact that like the entire time from like as soon as they team up to like virtually the end, Wolverine is like fucking sick and tired of Deadpool's nonsense, and the fact that he's been lying to him all the time, and Deadpool knows he's been lying to him all the time, but he has nothing else. Right. So he's like, I have to. Yeah, he's like, I just have to keep leaning into this fucking lies over lies on lies. I mean, because really, if you look at it, he's lying to everybody from the beginning of the movie. He definitely doesn't want to be a Avenger, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like, he knows that he's like, I'm never going to be able to be the hero like that, like they are. And this is the reason he's in X-Force, because they're heroes, but like they're also like not great people. You know, they're not saving puppies at trees and shit like that. But and then like obviously Wolverine is like that reluctant hero, that like when he does go full bore, he fucking, you know, he does it. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it bothered me that not enough people were like actually paying attention to like how much work they put into this movie, and not just the fun cameos or the fucking, you know, inside jokes and things like that. It's like they did a real good job of like putting heart and soul into these two characters that like routinely you don't get. Yeah, I mean,
the Wolverine stuff was definitely a lot more sad and introspective. I remember because a lot of the movie you do just have Deadpool just hamming it up and joking, but you know, lying his way through everything. And then you do run into the Wolverine stuff, especially when what was funny is like they never really it took him. Did they explain why he believes in? Yeah, they explained why he was such a fuck up, and in the scene that I'm even thinking of, because he's talking to that different version of was it X-23?
Yeah, Laura.
Laura around the campfire, and it's just such a weird. It's such an emotional moment, especially for this type of movie that is like, oh, you're really understanding like why he believes he is such a fuck up and he doesn't deserve any, redemption or anything.
Yeah, because at first I thought they were going to go the way of Days of Future. No, not of Days of Future Past. Of Old Man Logan, where like
I would thought that's what they were going to do as well, where he gets tricked into killing everybody, and that's what his.
Yeah, so like self isolation and stuff, and being run down and things like that. But no, he's just literally he's a drunk, a selfish drunk who like literally went out and got drunk when the humans of all things came, and of course the X-Men aren't going to fight against the humans, so the humans fucking murder them all, and then he shows up and they're all fucking dead, and he's hammered. And what does he do instead of like going on a rampage, which he mentions he kind of did, but he like just fell back into a bottle, and I was like, dang, that's wild.
That is.
But I bring this up earlier when we were talking about cameos. One of my favorite things is the montage of finding the Wolverine and all the different versions. Like the comic accurate Wolverine where he's all fucking tiny.
Yes.
But like the lengths and depths they went to some of those was ridiculous. Like Patch.
Oh yeah.
The Days of Future. What is it? Days of Future Past one. Is that where he loses a hand?
I don't remember.
Anyways, he has that where he's got the wild hair and he's got the metal cap over his severed hand.
But a super accurate, because a super accurate costume for that too. Like they made a whole accurate costume just for like that 10-second fucking little fight that they had. Which was awesome. Dude.
And like same thing with like the Wolverine in the yellow and gold fighting the Hulk. You have like that scene. That was it. The him on the X crucified. Like that's not even from like that's just a cover of a comic book. And they made it like live action. It was fucking gnarly, dude.
Right.
Like just all those ones, and I was like, dang. Like obviously, the one that the fucking Calverine scene,
yes,
which both excited most people who are smart and use both sides of their brains, and then pissed off so many people who were like hardcore DC fans. And like, oh, I can't believe you took a low blow at DC. I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't they take a low blow at DC?
Yeah.
Look at the state DC is in right now. Like we're in a point where yes, it could turn around and be amazing here in a little bit, but also definitely. The fucking shit show it was from the inception of the Snyder stuff to the poor execution all the way down the line, and how they kind of fucked with Henry Cavill so much by like essentially firing him and then bringing him back just to not bring him back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, they brought him back for one of the worst fucking DC movies that they had at the time, which is Black Adam, because arguably one of the fucking worst movies they made, and that's saying a lot. It is so bad, dude. It makes no sense whatsoever. It is the hardest thing to actually get behind because, like, not just because it's not going anywhere, but also it's just like, dude, why did you make this movie? It is so badly done. Anyways, so I brought him back to that. So like the whole like line of like, they don't even state, obviously they don't actually say DC, but when he's like, we could do so much better with you than the guys down the street, which if you guys don't know, for the longest time, Marvel and DC were literally down the street from each other. Like there's the comic book studios were literally like, you could see them from each other. Like it was just how it was, but also like in Hollywood, like it's just literally just always down the street or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, like it's a direct shot, obviously, and then like the whole cocking of the arms and to getting the claws out was obviously a great reference to the Mission Impossible scene, which has now made him very famous for action because he was a fucking monster in that movie.
Yeah.
But like when he cocks his arms and the claws pop out, murder boner, dude. Like,
right.
Bro, I was like,
so
dude,
awesome.
Please God. Like, I know we're not because we're not, but oh my God, if we can.
Right.
Like,
it would be awesome.
Oh my God, dude. Just an extended fight scene with him just murder, death, killing things. And he had the fucking sideburns, and he had the fucking hair.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the tank top and the tight fucking jeans, and obviously he's too tall to play an accurate Wolverine. But so is Hugh Jackman.
As well, if I recall right.
Yeah, the
like
cigar.
Every little detail was just awesome.
Dude. Bro. I was like, ugh. I love you, Hugh, and I know you're getting old, and you're probably not going to do this very much longer, even though they made a comment of, like, he's going to do it until he's 90. But it's like, can we just have Henry Cavill be Wolverine?
Just show up again. I mean, we have the multiverse.
I'm saying, dude, like, I know Secret Wars is probably going to fucking shit can most of the multiverse stuff, but, dude, bro, it was so good. Like, I don't want to, like, fangirl up or whatever, but it was so fucking cool. Because I literally thought, like, when I heard rumblings like, oh, Henry Cavill's making a cameo, I thought he was going to be Patch.
Yeah.
Because, like, he just fits kind of like that persona, you know, wearing suits and things like that.
Yeah.
But, dude, when they showed him and he's working on that fucking motorcycle and he fucking turns around and you see that gnarled face, and I was like, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I need a moment, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, shit. And it was over so quick, and I was like, oh, damn it.
This is one of those movies that I'm glad that, even though I watched a lot of the trailers, I didn't read anything about it.
Yeah.
And so all of the cameos for it were not spoiled for me.
Yeah.
I didn't know Henry Cavill was going to be in it. I didn't know that Channing Tatum was going to be in it, and that, Elektra and whatnot were going to be in this. So to walk into that so
blind
was amazing.
Yeah, it would have been amazing if I didn't get some of it ruined for me beforehand. But yeah, I mean, it was just, but still, to see it was way fucking cool.
Oh, yeah.
And the one that, like, I still can't believe we got and how long it was the Chris Evans Johnny Storm. Bro, I was like, hold the fuck up.
I can't believe that, like probably everyone else in that theater, I was thinking that would be Captain America as well.
Yeah. And the fact that, like,
find out that it's not, was just hilarious.
And the fact that, like, Deadpool thought it was him, and he's like, "Oh shit, Cap," and I was like, "Oh shit," and I was like, "Wait a minute, what?" And I was like, "That doesn't seem right. Like, why would he?" And then it takes the thing. I was like, "Oh my god, I fucking love this so much."
Johnny Storm, it's fantastic. Although I will say, I think I've thought of something later that would have been better.
What's that?
And I'd have to look it up to see if the dude is still alive.
Okay.
But the original Captain America movie.
Oh, with fucking the clear shield, or the...
No, not the clear shield. Not that one.
Not the TV movie.
Original one. But yeah, the goofy dumb one that I like from early '90s, late '80s, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
If you would have been able to bring him back as that Cap.
Let's see if we can figure this out while you're talking.
Would have been even more fantastic, because it still would have been Cap, but he would have been this old, not super powered Cap.
Yeah.
Would have been fantastic. Even just like referencing that movie in general.
Matt Salinger.
Yeah.
Matt Salinger.
Is he still alive?
He is still alive.
Because he had been in his like 20s, 30s.
He's 64, so he definitely could have been in it.
Yeah, he definitely could have been in that.
By the way, just a little like fucking trivia for you. So I don't know if you know the name Matt Salinger. That last name sounds familiar.
It does. It does sound familiar. Is he related to the?
He's the son of the author J.D. Salinger.
Yeah.
So just so you guys know.
I didn't know that.
That's a fun little fact you can throw in your little banks there to hold for your time on Jeopardy.
It was a fun little fact. But making reference to any of that movie would have been absolutely fantastic to me as well.
Yeah. Yeah, if they could have pulled out some of those ones, like, it would have been pretty fantastic. Or marvelous, or what do you want to say.
Referencing the old, what's his name's movies that that just made the ones that so they could keep the rights to it.
Oh, Roger Corman.
Roger Corman, yeah.
Yeah, I saw someone talking about that. They're like, like I'm hoping Disney can get like, what did he say? Oh, he's like, I'm hoping Disney can secure the rights for the Roger Corman version so we can see a variant of that. And I'm like, I don't know if this person has ever actually seen it. I have it somewhere on VHS.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking terrible.
It's
in like
terrible.
the worst way possible, but it's like it's so bad that it's fun to watch because of how bad it actually is. Not because like it's campy fun. It's so fucking bad. And Roger Corman even knew it. And he was just literally using it as a paycheck to make something else.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we have this like literal dumpster of money. Can you just make this? And whatever's left over is all yours. And he's like, yes, I need $11. Done.
Done. Here's your movie. Now you keep the rights. I'm going to go do this thing over here with the rest of it.
And I don't remember all the lore, but like the whole thing was filmed in like 17 days or some shit like that. Like it's just or the whole thing, I'm sorry, the whole movie was completed in 17 days.
Yeah.
So shot, edited, everything all in that time, and it does fucking show.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's just there. Oh my god, dude! And it's so funny because when you see clips of they show like the thing talking, it reminds me of the fucking what was that show with the orange?
Oh,
Annoying Orange.
Annoying Orange. Yeah.
Where it's basically just like the mouth and the eyes, whatever. Right? It reminds me of that because like the dude in the mask, it's not even a mask. It's just like this shell that he's in, and they like. Oh, dude, it's so bad. And like the whole stretching arm thing is you can literally see it's on a runner, and it's just oh my god, it's so fucking good, dude. Invisible Woman just not in the scene.
Costume looked like something that they picked out of a stupid Viking opera.
Bro, dude, it's so bad. It's so fucking bad.
It's so good.
But if they get a hold of that and can actually somehow, I don't even know who owns the rights to that. To tell you the truth, like where that was coming from, I'd have to look it up. But like, if they could somehow release that for people to see, I want to see the mass internet go, what the fuck is this?
Right.
And also, I want to see a resurgence of people enjoying Roger Corman movies because they're so bad, but they're so badly good. Mm-hmm. It just makes it like fills my heart with like joy because like there's like Roger Corman's one of those dudes like much like fucking Kaufman, the guy who started Troma Pictures. He just loves movies, but like knows he can't really like make movies, so he's gonna make the movies he wants to watch, and it's like it's so good.
Bad, good movies.
Yeah, man. And that's funny too, because like I don't know why this just popped up and has nothing to do with anything other than my brain. That's why I like the Terrifier movies so much. I know we talked about the Terrifier movies on here before, because Damon, the guy who wrote and created Art the Clown and Terrifier and all that stuff, he loves gore, like and definitely gore for the sake of gore, not like gore to fucking like whatever. Like he's big into special effects and like real effects, not CG and stuff like that. But like he's the kind of guy where like he just wanted to make a movie that he wants to see, so he made that fucked up shit. And obviously it lands with like a large group of horror fans who are just like fans of gore for the sake of gore, which I know you're not, Joe.
I'm not, no.
But like it just, that's the kind of thing, like he's kind of like a Roger Corman and a Lloyd Kaufman?
Lloyd Kaufman, yeah.
Yeah. Like he just like, the difference is he actually has a really good eye for making movies, and he's really good at special effects, and like doing it at like a really low price. But also like he's like at this point he's like, bro, I think I have an idea to make this go, but like it's gonna be fucking wild. And I'm like, yes, fucking lean into it. Don't know you're not making Oscar movies, which by the way, you should still get an Oscar for special effects because it's fucking wild what that kid does. Just alone in the fucking flaying of the teenager in the second movie is fucking wild. And I mean the whole fucking sawing a girl half from taint to fucking forehead in the first one is pretty gnarly too. But I cannot fucking wait for this third one. But sorry, tangent done. But he to me reminds me a lot of how Roger Corman and Lloyd Kaufman were. It was like they just want to make movies for the sake of making movies, even if they're not everyone's cup of tea. But also like he has the advantage because like it's the 20th century, you know, like got a lot more resources behind him now.
Right.
But he does remind me a lot of that, where like they're kind of making their own little universe thing. But yeah, so sorry, tangent over.
What's the last Roger Corman movie?
It's a solid
Oh, that
question.
just suddenly got me wondering that. But yeah, no, just that one cameo. As I looked this up, uh, if they would have like, don't get me wrong, I love Chris Evans as you know. You're thinking that he's going to be the Captain America, and then it ends up being Johnny Storm was fantastic. But it would have been to me a little bit more better and probably a lot more confusing to people to have it still be Captain America, but be this other version
That
of
like
Captain America. Hell, I would have.
11% of
I
people have seen.
would have even accepted Clear Shield Captain America
Yeah, dude.
uh, as just a real funny like, oh god, I forgot about that. It looks like he did the Jungle Demon in 2021. He's an executive producer, so I don't know if I really count that. Producer, executive producer. God, okay, here's director credits. 19. No wait, well, that was a weird refresh. Wait, what happened?
Frankenstein Unbound
What the hell happened?
in 1990. Was that his last?
I think so. I
Directorial?
clicked on director stuff. I saw it for a split second, and then this page like jumped all weird. I don't
Hell
know where
yeah,
I
dude.
am anymore.
Yeah, I think that's the last directorial thing he did was that.
So that was 1990. So he's been producing a lot of stuff, but not making anything. Okay, fair enough. Unless he's written some stuff. My God, could he stop producing things? I'm still scrolling through that.
No, that's impossible.
Fair enough.
Executive producing is not even that long of a list, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. All right. There's director stuff. Oh my God, did it do it again? All right, I'm done with you, IMDb. The page just suddenly jumped again, and I have no idea where I am. All right, fuck that. I'm out. I'm out. But yeah, no, I really loved the movie. It was fantastic. It's one of the few movies in a long time where I got done with it, and I was like, we always jokingly say, "Hey, let's just play it again." That was really good. It was a solid just 2 hours, a real quick movie. I say, when in the era of just feeling like movies are getting longer and longer, and it's not to the detriment of some of the movies. They move at a great pace. It's just they are still 3 hours, where this is 2 hours. It just felt like so much easier to go, no, I really could watch this again because it was so good, so fun, and I know I missed some stuff here and there.
Yeah.
You know, you get caught up, and there was something I was trying to remember to even look for, and I totally forgot about it because I'm just having so much fun watching the movie, laughing my ass off at all the quips and comments and shit like that, and the visual gags. I mean, Jesus Christ, the comic book accurate Wolverine is just still so fucking hilarious to me. Yeah, it's so good. So I could have like literally just sat down and just watched it again, just like roll back. Let's play again.
And so Joe will understand this because he knows that I love these. They actually have they're releasing a behind the scenes making a hardcover book.
Nice.
And I'm like, yes, dude, I'm gonna fucking buy that shit. I need to look to see when it's out because it's supposed to be out soon. But I have a bunch of those because I love that shit.
Speaking of things that are connected to it, I sent you guys the popcorn bucket, right?
The
baby.
Oh
Deadpool
yeah.
popcorn bucket.
On the throne.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like, oh my God, that thing was so detailed.
Yeah, dude.
It's a fucking popcorn bucket. Like, it's interesting, like what has suddenly become like a weird collector's thing that they're just throwing out there. All these cinemas all at once are just like, oh, people want collectible popcorn buckets. Well, here they are. You know, the first couple were okay, and then there was the weird Dune one.
That definitely sparked everybody to like make more like elaborate ones. Like, cause there was like the Ecto one.
which I didn't even know about, which looked awesome.
Yeah, and I think there's like two versions of that too.
What and that's the funny thing is like you're right because I think there are two versions of it because a lot of different theaters were doing their own versions of those things. So even the Deadpool one, there was another theater that was doing the Flying Skull version.
Yeah, yeah.
For a popcorn bucket.
Deadpool.
I was like, that's fucking dope too.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, there's so many, like it's kind of like ridiculous, but like I get it, like because movie theaters need like an extra little something.
To bring people in, yeah.
Yeah, because like they were doing like collector's cups for a while. I think some places still do. Like Cinemark will do collector's cup because they actually have one for the upcoming re-release of Coraline in 3D.
Oh, nice.
For the anniversary, and it's a 3D cup, so as you turn it, it changes, which is pretty cool. But like, yeah, the popcorn bucket thing has gotten ridiculous. Like they're now showing more of the face hugger bucket, which is just literally just a black bucket with a face hugger wrapped around it.
Which I will get, and I'm kind of happy that at least it seems like AMC allows you to pre-order the buckets online.
Yeah.
Because I've checked every once in a while, and that's where one of the Deadpool buckets allows you to pre-order it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, oh, I get it, like it's cool, but like, I just don't have room to fucking collect more shit like that in my house.
Definitely. I definitely don't. But I've oddly been getting into eating more popcorn, at least on like Friday nights when I get home at a reasonable hour. It seems like a really nice like little after work snack type thing to sit down and watch some stuff because the weekend's coming. So just have like there's my alien, my face hugger. Just pour some popcorn into it. Put some of the flavorings on it. Yeah.
Flavorings.
But so I think it's pretty cool that they are doing stuff like that. I'm not going to sit there and collect them. Hell no. I want the one. Unless they come out with another really fucking cool one, I ain't collecting anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, there's been a couple cool alien ones. There's like two different xenomorph ones. One looks real bad.
Yeah.
Real bad. One looks really cool. Obviously, there's the facehugger one. There was the Ecto one, which I want to say there was two versions of it. I could be wrong, but I want to say there's two different versions of it. But like even with Deadpool and Wolverine, there was I think it was.
You had the Wolverine one, which looked very suspicious.
Yeah. But there was another one too of like Deadpool and Wolverine. It was just basically their like a Deadpool head and a Wolverine head. And it wasn't all suggestive with like open mouth. You have to reach in. Which, by the way, if you guys don't know, there's a Deadpool designed Deadpool Wolverine popcorn bucket that is literally Wolverine's face with a huge mouth open, and it actually has a tongue on it, which is really disturbing. But it actually has a flap, an orifice you have to push through to get to the popcorn. So you have to fist. Like, literally, they said you have to fist it to get your popcorn in and out, and I was like,
"Yeah,
oh, it's so good." But they have just a generic one. I say generic. They're literally just Deadpool's head and Wolverine's head that has a flap that opens. You can get popcorn in and out of it. But then yeah, there's a bunch of different ones. I think it's just kind of wild right now. But yeah, so it's cool and all, but I'm definitely not going to collect that shit.
No, like I said,
too much.
I just want the one because the facehugger is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Joe's going to use that for everything.
Everything. That's my soda cup. It's my water cup.
It's my cereal bowl.
Bucket. My oatmeal bowl. I don't need cereal really anymore.
Well, in the rare occasion you do, that you can use that.
In the rare occasion, that's my cereal bowl. I don't know what else. Ramen. Yeah, there we go. Make ramen.
Damn,
make some top ramen. Just right in there.
14 packets of fucking ramen.
Salt. It does a body good.
I think that's everything. There's a lot more to talk about in the movie, but because there's so much that happened in that fucking movie, it's ridiculous.
There's so much that happened. I have one article pulled up about it that I can mention real quick.
Go ahead.
But I cannot remember how it went because the franchise as a whole, global box office passed $30 billion, And I believe, from what this article had said, that that is more than some of the other, or most of the other Marvel movies that have been released, including like Iron Man. Let's see. It's one of the most prolific film franchises of all time, with 34 installments. That's the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
Over 15 years, comic book giant has delivered unprecedented string of blockbusters since Iron Man, blah, 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 blah. I don't remember where it was where it said in here. But I believe that's what it was, that with this film, global box office will have surpassed, and we're talking about like the Iron Man films, the main films. They're like the Thor films. They're they even mention Harry Potter and James Bond as just like those films, not just other films that they've appeared in, like the Avengers movies.
Yeah.
Because even Spider-Man, it says here, across 10 films, was $10.6 billion. So this franchise has done real well around the world.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. That's it.
All right. Well, besides going on more tangents about random shit, I think we'll wrap it up here.
Yeah.
So this has been this week's episode of Comes Naturally. We have been
Joe.
I've been Cody, and as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, and by the way, spoiler alert.